American politics has been reaching new lows of tension and division in recent times. While our bipartisan system has always been divided, it feels like it has only been getting worse. One suspected reason for this is social media's role as the new main way people are getting their news. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube are all being used, especially by young people, as their primary source of politics. All of these platforms have highly advanced and mostly secret algorithms that are responsible for the type of content recommended to their users. Many Americans are wondering how these algorithmic biases could be contributing to the political divide. In order to understand how these algorithms could be contributing to political divide, it is first important to have a basic understanding of how these algorithms work. The goal of these social media platforms is to curate content based on what it thinks the specific user will find the most engaging. These algorithms are extremely effective in showing users what they want to see. However, it might be problematic when these platforms are being used to show the news. This is because these algorithms favor what will gain the most likes and attention over what is the most accurate. The fear is that these algorithms are becoming a major factor in political polarization. Algorithmic biases is a term that refers to the tendency of these engagement-based algorithms to inadvertently prioritize content that confirms users' pre-existing beliefs or incites division. If a user begins to show a preference for one political party, the algorithm will begin to show content favoring that political party, reinforcing the user's belief in that party. This creates a feedback loop where users' feed become increasingly biased and shows less of differing opinions, creating what is known as an ideological echo chamber. This idea seems to be expected and intuitive, but several case studies have shown it might not be as clear-cut as once thought. For instance, a study conducted by the Brookings Institution focused on YouTube's recommendation algorithm. The researchers found that, contrary to popular belief, YouTube's algorithm does not lead the vast majority of users down extremist rabbit holes. However, it does push users into increasingly narrow ideological ranges of content, which they dubbed as a very mild ideological echo chamber. They also found that YouTuber's algorithm pushes users slightly to the right of the political spectrum. Another study, conducted in collaboration between independent academics and researchers at Meta, looked at how Facebook's and Instagram affected opinions of the 2020 election. This study looked at how ranking down content from like-minded sources, removing reshared content from a user feed, and showing content by recency rather than likes shapes users' opinions on politics. Surprisingly, the study found that none of these changes had any effect on effective polarization, which is where individuals' attitudes towards their own political party become more positive, while feelings to opposing parties become more negative. However, downranking content from like-minded sources did reduce exposure to misinformation, hateful speech, and uncivil content. The study also found that the ideological leanings of the majority of Facebook users were right-leaning. These right-leaning platforms were found to have the highest concentration of fake news, and there was found to be no similar equivalent on left-leaning platforms. Other studies found measurable links between political polarization and algorithmic biases, like one published in the PLOS ONE journal. Researchers found increased fragmentation and polarization from users using platforms that were found to have algorithmic biases, such as Facebook and Twitter. These findings suggest that the design of social media algorithms can have effects on societal consensus and division. The results of these studies tell us that this issue is more complex than previously thought. The link between political polarization and algorithmic biases from online platforms has not been proven due to conflicting conclusions from multiple sources. While nothing has been proven, it was shown that these algorithmic biases do have certain effects to the users and have been shown to increase the amount of fake news shown to users. I believe that the best takeaway we can see from these studies is that while these social media algorithms are having effects on political polarization, the extent to what we can blame for them is limited. People, at the end of the day, are still responsible for what kind of media they decide to consume and believe in. Looking forward, these studies show how important it is for us to be aware of what and how digital media, especially the news, is being recommended to us. We always need to examine the media we choose to consume online to ensure we are consuming accurate and trustworthy news.